Hey, I really miss seeing you all at Art Matters. So I've been really busy lately. I've been trying to overcome some of my own technological challenges to be able to visit you electronically. I wanted to bring you all some art activities that you could do at home and thought that we would start this week by getting some inspiration from an artist that I like a lot, and her name is Georgia O'Keeffe. Now, some of you who've been with me at Art Matters for a long time will say, Miss Christmas, we've heard about Georgia O'Keeffe before. But she lived to be 99 years old. She's a very interesting person. She became a great American artist, and there's a lot to keep learning about Georgia. I know I never really get tired of learning about Georgia, and I appreciate every new book and every new video that comes out, and I keep finding out things about her I never knew before. So I decided that we would start with her because she draws and paints everyday objects that you can find in your own backyard. So I'm hoping that if the sun comes out for just a minute, that you go outside if you can, and you can look for signs of spring. I know I did. I I was able to find some signs of spring out there, and maybe you will find things that Georgia painted, like a really pretty rock that's fun to hold, but also interesting to draw. Um, Even if you can find a shell, I know we're not near the ocean, but some of you may have shells around your house or in your house. Um, Even a bone. Do you know that Georgia O'Keeffe sometimes painted bones that she found out in the desert? I don't expect you have one this big, but even a chicken bone will be okay because you know what she did. She would take a very small object but draw it very big so that you would notice it, so that you would see the little details and things about it that she noticed. And she wanted to be sure that you saw them too. George O'Keeffe also painted skulls. If you happen to have a skull laying around your house, then you could use that for this activity. I don't imagine that you do have a skull at your house, but how this is going to work, you may say, Miss Christmas, are you going to send us art supplies? I'm sorry that I cannot do that. But you know what? Something that Georgia used in the beginning when she was really just first discovering what path she was going to take in her art career, she just used a piece of charcoal. It was actually, that's really one of the first art supplies that anybody ever used before there were art supply stores where you could go buy things. People never really needed that to do art. They've always done art, and we could do art at home with just a pencil and a paper. But I'm going to show you that this is a very valuable activity to do. We don't often do that at Art Matters. I think because we have so many art supplies there, and I like for you, and I think you like to experiment with things you've never used before. But this is kind of the foundation of all art. And if you want to be good at art, you will try this activity. Georgia would just take something really small, but she would draw it big, and you can start out with your pencil, just a line drawing, and then try using the side of your pencil after you do that line drawing just to shade in some parts of your drawing. Now you want to look at the very darkest parts and also the very whitest parts and get a few shades in between that are just almost dark but not too dark, and almost white but not entirely white. You know, about 4 or 5 shades is good to start with. This is this is something that helps you learn to be a better painter too, because we're going to watch a video. You can see this video on my blog. I'm going to invite you to visit my blog and see a short video about Georgia O'Keeffe where you get to see some of her first charcoal drawings and how she would show where light hits these things, these shapes and objects, and show where shadows fall. That's very, very important to do that in drawing and painting because it makes things look real. People say if you want to draw people and you want to be a portrait artist, that it's not just the lines of the face that make a portrait look like somebody. It's where light shines on their face and where shadows fall. That's what also makes somebody look like they look. So We're going to start out with a flower. I mean, you could draw a flower or a rock or a bone or some object from nature, something small, but make it big and show value by drawing your lights and darkness and darks. And this is how I started with the line drawing and using the side of my pencil, shaded in parts of it. And if you will try this, I think you're going to find that it's therapeutic, it's kind of calming, it's soothing. It took me about an hour to do this. You can work on it for a little while, go do something else, come back to it. It's always fun to have an art project going on that you can come back to. It makes me feel good. I think I'm kind of happy when I know that after I do a few tasks that I have to do, I can go and work on my art, which is what I really want to do. And I think that that if you want to, you can also, I hope that you will also send me your drawing that you do this week, because on my blog I hope to post them so that all the students at Art Matters can see what you did. And until then, until next week when I send you another activity to do, you can look at the blog and find some other things to do. And next week, I hope to visit you again. Okay? Until then, you stay happy, and I'll see you next week. Bye.